Hello and welcome to The Place to Soar. I'm your host Anita Russell, and we are here for part 2 of the Ronald Ritzie story. We are actually in his home, which also serves as his studio as well as his art gallery. So we're going to take this opportunity to kind of walk through this space and just see the incredible creativity that goes on here. So we're going to start with this piece here, and Ronnie's going to give us a description of what this painting is all about.
Hi. This painting is called Single Woman. I believe in miracles. What inspired me to paint this painting was 2 individuals that decided to have a child, and they both were HIV positive. At that time I was working at a facility that governed and housed people with HIV and AIDS. And when they came to the staff and mentioned that they were mentioned that they were having a child, well, at that time it was unthinkable. But God had another plan. There were medicines out, that protease inhibitors, that enabled them to have a healthy child that came out HIV negative. I believe in miracles. We're here in my kitchen, and this piece is called Our Daily Bread. Wow. This painting was painted with me and my brother at the kitchen table having breakfast. My brother recently passed away. We were so different in so many ways, and this painting could tell you how parents love their kids not equally but adequately. And as you can see, I was so extra with bacon and eggs, and my brother was such a simple person, and he just wanted Cheerios. And we see the mother at the kitchen sink, and it captures any mother who has 2 sons, and how both kids are so very much different. It's kind of off-centered because no family is perfect. Here we are at a piece that is a fun piece for me. This was an installation piece. And what has happened with this piece, I don't know what happened. All I know is that as a kid, I used to go through the cupboards and was fascinated by seeing all sorts of black memorabilia, like Uncle Ben's and cream of wheat. And they started putting athletes on the boxes of Wheaties. So I decided to do a piece like this, and here we go.
Oh, nice.
Hide, go, seek.
So what's up with this kid?
Just prowling for something to eat.
Nice.
and getting lost, hiding and seeking.
Nice.
I'm going to share with you my Emigration series. This piece was, this series was inspired by seeing the landscape of Latinos walking through the community, day laborers, and I had the opportunity to interview some of them on many occasions. And this piece is called The Waiting Game. And it's them sitting on a wall waiting for work, day laborers. It's very, very relief driven and whittled and carved in, and I used dollhouse figures for some of the props, and I love the way it came out. The frame job is just amazing, because it gives the three-dimensional aspect of my work, much depth. I divided my Emigration series into 3 parts. This part you're viewing is a part of the community that is going to and from work. You're seeing a lot of the characters in here with uniforms from their jobs.
Yes.
Police officers, ICE, patrolling immigrants and possibly stopping them for registrations, passports. The background you see here is different stamps from all over Latino countries, passports, stamped passports, as you can see.
Oh, I see. Like, wait. Oh, yeah. I didn't even notice
right,
that.
Those
before.
are all.
Yes.
Those are all stamps from people's passports. Like I mentioned, I had interviewed a lot of these Latinos and people in search of work to feed their families. As you look closely, there is a birth certificate, and it happens to be mine.
Oh.
Okay. And there's a phrase on here. When I was hungry, you fed me. When I was naked, you clothed me. When I was in jail, you came to see about me. Many of my works have been used for fundraisers, and I had the opportunity of working at the Castillo Theater where I was reading a play and a script for a play, a manuscript actually. And I said, wow, I have a painting that would be perfect for the playbill. And they used my painting as the email blast and the playbill for a play called Welcome Home, Sonny T. The last part of my Emigration series is I devoted it to agriculture and carpentry. A lot of Latinos and immigrants are doing carpentry work, painting. So I decided to use this as one of my part of my collection, and this series. And it's popsicle sticks. There's paper clothespins, and here we have something that I really kind of made myself of the Benjamin Moore. Alone in Bloom. I use that as my hashtag, Alone in Bloom, because so much of my work is done with, I'm alone and I'm in such solitary. And this is a little boy who reminds me of myself and wonder, and just wonder of life and the possibilities about life.
Okay, so one of the things that I really noticed is that your paintings are filled with textures. And so, for example, the hair, like how did you get the hair like that?
That's actually grits. And
grits?
Grits, yes. And it gave you the same texture because I have typed nappy hair, and I'm very proud of it. So this was a piece that I had put together and sculptured. Each piece is sanded down and molded, and I used overalls to give it more of an effect of this big sitting on a bench, and he's just alone.
And the eyelashes.
There are actual eyelashes that's individually placed into the lid.
Excellent.
And you see bolts here, and the grass gives so much shimmer, and there's actually sand that was used, dirt, to give you the effect of the grass, and we're alone in bloom here, and it's great. The name is Bonds, Barry Bonds. This piece was, it was exciting seeing him reach that record breaking of home runs, and this was a tremendous time. I'm sorry that there was such an asterisk on his title of being, because he is still my hero. You see the background where it's actually the flag where he's broken the record. This is part of my sports series, and it's football. Any given Sunday. And I see these players play each other every now and then, but this is dated back when Bima was playing for the Jets and Ocho Cinco, who had changed his name from Chad Johnson. As you see, these are all, they're in motion, and it's electric, and it's fascinating to see the muscle tone and the actual cleats. And the sculpture in here, it brings out so many different emotions for football lovers.
So what did you use for the eyes?
Marbles.
They're marbles.
They're actually marbles, and when the lights are turned off, the eyes are turned on. A Tiger in the Woods. This was quite a challenge because we see a star here, one of our greatest golf players, and his rise to fame and his downfall as far as getting into the low rankings of his career. And at actual golf club, but the disdain on these people's faces shows the story of how we have to be, here you have the greatest player in golf history, but still questionable in their eyes. Little sister, Serena Williams.
Wow.
Again, this was one of the most fascinating times because this picture was taken from her first U.S. Open win. And how I could relate because my brother was, my younger brother was my younger brother, but he was much faster and quicker than me. And here a sister rose up to be much more of a celebrity than her older sister. So, little sister, I think I captured this.
I love the way you have the earrings on there.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
They will always be jeweled when they went on the court. Notice the nails? Yeah. This painting I had to brush up on my French. La touche de Venus. I had the opportunity to meet Venus and have dinner with her and her father, and they had the opportunity to see this piece up close and personal. The long stretch. I decided to leave out the tennis racket because she was more than just a tennis player. She was an entrepreneur. She was a celebrity in her own right and such a great personality. When I met her the first time, she just blew me away with her intelligence and the little French that she did speak. Notice the French manicure and the tennis bracelet.
Wonderful.
Run Tour de Roar. I used that title because at points in my life I was afraid to run toward the roar of the crowd, the adulation, the accolades that I might get if by chance they see that I was running towards the roar. This is a runner that I actually just sculpted from, just took my time to sculpt and get the muscle tone, and some of it's it projects into many movements, if I may say. This is part of my religious series. This painting is very dear to me. I've never went into print work with it, and I also it was painted in 1977. Wow, I'm telling my age. It's of a family going to church on a Sunday morning. I recall my mother dressing my sisters up in pink dresses and bonnets on that special day. In 1977, was the year I graduated from high school, and this was entered into the art exhibit, and I won the Artisan Award that year, which really gave me a lot of motivation to keep on painting, and I knew that this is where I belonged. This painting is part of my religious series called The Word. Here we have one of my favorite Psalms from the Bible, Psalm 23. It started off with different fabrics, but I decided to create the fabrics myself by using stencils and different textures. And you see the braids, her braids are coming out, and I don't know why people automatically zoom into this part of this little girl's hair. It's always exciting when the choir comes in on Sunday morning. This piece is called For All He Has Done For Me. It's gone into limited edition prints, and it's pretty much all over the country. It was used as a fundraiser at one time for the Eric Johnson House in Morristown, New Jersey. And how I did this painting was interesting. I included a lot of people in giving me coins, antique coins dated back to 1865, the year of the Emancipation Proclamation. And these coins dated up to 1990, when the year Nelson Mandela was released from prison. In between these dates, I collected and researched different coins, like the bust of the dime was actually created by an African-American sculptor called Selma Burke. She did the bust for that. Susan B. Anthony, who was a woman's advocate and a civil rights advocate, activist actually. I asked a friend, could she give me some money, and she gave me a food stamp. She said, I'm not giving you any money, I'm giving you my food stamps. There's a subway token on here, Matthew 25. This painting means a lot to me, and whenever it goes on exhibit, people tend to gravitate to this because it's a powerful piece. It's very textured. Notice the shoelaces. This Bible was given to the World War II veterans by Roosevelt, the African-American veterans, when they were going off to war or coming back from war. Actual stained glass for the windows that reflects at times with the lighting. Charboy for the hair. Right. This is called A Good Day's Catch. It was painted in 1981, and it's available in limited edition prints. It's just a painting. It's not just a painting. It's a painting that really depicts my life growing up as a fishing, because my father was a great fisherman, and we used to go out fishing all the time. And at this particular time, you see, I started to develop the relief work, because the fish are rising up out of the canvas, and then with the different lighting, these fish actually look like jeweled fish, and it just tells a story. It's a piece that I always hold very dear to my heart, with my father and mine and my siblings, how we go out on Sunday mornings and go fishing. Good Day's Catch. Mother's Worry. This painting had started off the day my mother passed away. I had a tool that I could use to get through the grief, while my siblings struggled with lots of questions. I really didn't know my mother till after she passed, because our relationship was one of mother and son. She worried so much about me, and today I'm pretty sure she's looking down on me saying, it's okay. This painting started off as flat surface in the beginning. I revisited it about 2 years ago, and I brought these images forward because I realized too much thoughts about my mom. She was more than just a one-dimensional woman. She was a phenomenal woman. She had many sides to her. I miss her.
thank you so much for joining us at the Place to Soar, and I want to thank Mr. Ronald Ritzie for opening up his home and allowing us to come in. To get in touch with Ronald to purchase prints, lithos, limited editions, or to commission him for private work, please call his management team, the Execution Group, at 908-875-9303. Or visit the website at theexecutiongroup.com. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.